Hi, welcome to the Meeting of Minds podcast. I'm Philippa Robinson. So, do you know what? The last few episodes I have recorded, I have been talking. I know I've said a couple of times that I tend to record these podcasts when I'm feeling, great and everything's going all right. And I kind of don't do that on purpose because I don't want to come on here when everything is not going well. It's sort of, I want to do these when I'm in the right frame of mind for them, and that's the way it usually goes. And I've really been noticing that I need to record a few. I'm really busy at the moment, so I decided to I try and batch record a few at a time, which works really well because the great guy who produces them for me, he can then sort them out in a batch. So it just works really well, and it also means that I can carry on a theme. And I've been putting it off. I've been really busy, so it's been easy for me to tell myself that I'm too busy to do them, and that maybe tomorrow. And this weekend, so today is Sunday when I'm recording these, or this one anyway, I have left it till Sunday afternoon because I kept telling myself, oh, I'll do it in a minute. And I've realised I've been putting it off. And I've been putting it off because I'm having a bit of a hard time at the moment. And I was like, oh, now the episodes are on YouTube, I'm thinking, oh, my hair's a mess, and I haven't really thought this through properly about, how to set it up and everything. And I just thought, Philippa, stop putting it off and just get on with it. Because clearly there is something going on for me at the moment about being seen, being heard, visibility. And so I've set it all up. I've got my, I've got it all. It's just recording on my phone, set up on a precarious set of books. I've got my chair up here that I like to record in if I can get the chair up here. And I'm here, I'm recording, and I'm feeling really uncomfortable. And yeah, I've got quite a few things going on at the moment, and I have taken on a consultancy job. It's just a few hours a week, but it has added to my already busy life. And quite a few people, so I've been doing it for 3 weeks now, and quite a few friends have been saying, how's it going? And I've been saying, yeah, it's going great. I'm really enjoying it, actually. It's very healing for me to go back to a law firm and work in a role similar to the role that I left 3 years ago, when I left at a time when I didn't really want to leave, but what I wanted to do in the firm, they didn't want me to do. And it all came to a bit of a messy end, really, and left me feeling like I never wanted to go back to a law firm again. And this year I've been a bit brave and decided to see if I could get a position, which I have. And it's not permanent, which is absolutely what I wanted, because I wanted to have that get out if I needed it. And so far it's going really well, but I'm not going to lie, it's really hard to find in my week the hours that I need to actually be there, because it's half an hour there, then a few hours there, half an hour home. I'm fitting that in with the kids going to school, the kids coming home. And my kids are 14 and 16 now. They don't need me here. But certainly we've been at home over COVID, and me taking a real backseat with my work over the last 3 years has meant I've been here a lot. And, maybe they'd rather I wasn't here. But I am used to being here, and taking myself out of that situation and letting them get on with, what they need to do after school, or just coming home and vegging, whatever it is they're doing. But taking me out of that equation, I'm really struggling with. It feels a little bit like I'm constantly questioning myself. Am I putting this job, this position, this project work above them? Is that okay that I'm doing that? Is this a bad time to be leaving them to their own devices? Does this make me a bad mother? All these questions are coming up for me, and on top of that, I'm feeling quite a lot overwhelmed actually with everything that's going on. And I'm not moaning, or I certainly don't want to sound like I'm moaning, because a lot of great things are going on. I'm running some workshops with wonderful women every other week. I'm working with some great one-to-one clients. Things are going okay. They really are. And also, on the other hand, it is a lot as well for me to be taking on board. And, I'm throwing the dog into the mix as well, because he's used to having somebody around after, 3 years of always being around. So he's struggling a little bit with being left, and that makes me feel guilty. So, yeah, I'm really struggling at the moment, and I am... I have had a conversation this morning with a really great friend of mine, and I'm realizing that a lot of the things that are going on are really triggering my sense of safety, and I've not been behaving particularly well. I have been falling out with quite a few people here at home. I'm not saying that's all my fault. I'm not taking all the blame. But what I am doing is looking at what part I've played in it. And it's really uncomfortable. Is really uncomfortable for me today to have understood that my childhood trauma is still playing out. I'm not wanting to, we're never fixed. And there's always a lot more work to do. And I think my understanding of how my childhood has affected me has enabled me, or allowed me, to actually understand that perhaps the part that I've been playing in the situations that have happened at home this week have got something to do with me, the way I react, the way I bring my childhood to my marriage, my parenting, and everything. And I'm not going to lie, it's been really uncomfortable this morning. Seeing, understanding, having it reflected back to me by my friend, what I am doing. And sorry, it's, over the last 5 years, I have learned to stand up for myself. I've learned to take time for myself. And those things have been marvelous, and they have been really transformational for me. I think what is happening now is that the standing up for myself is really playing out at the moment with me vocalizing the way I feel. And You know, I feel really frustrated with a lot of things that go on at home. I feel, if I'm really honest, I feel let down um, around certain things. I feel frustrated. I feel quite resentful, and it's really not. It's. I was going to say it's not easy, but actually that came out quite easily. But I'm learning to understand that some would call that the shadow side. That those what might be called unpleasant or unacceptable traits in me, that I can feel resentful and frustrated and angry and disappointed, and that really, you know, as women in particular, we are brought up to keep those feelings to ourselves. So for me to admit that those I'm feeling like that is, on the one hand, quite liberating, but on the other hand, I don't feel shame. I think I would have felt shame 5 years ago, but it does make me feel really uncomfortable. But it is also the truth. And for me to face that is the truth of how I am feeling and air it here to you listeners, there is some freedom in that for me. Yeah, I'm not, it is quite uncomfortable. And yeah, it is really quite uncomfortable. But I am able to do that now. I am able to say those things, and I am not beating myself up for feeling like that. I think it's been a long time coming, me understanding that is the way that I feel, especially resentment. And I really need to understand the part that resentment is playing in my home environment, and how I have brought that to my home environment. And I that is playing out. I finally realized this morning that I am letting my feelings known about some things here at home, which is absolutely fine, but I am doing it in a way that is a little bit unnecessary. In that I'm being much more what's the word, loud and firm and pissed off about it. It's coming out as a bigger reaction, and I finally realized, I think this morning, that I am allowing myself to feel like that because I think they are here, and I am able to voice all this and almost punish them in a way, because I was never able to do this with my mother. Oh, and it really pains me. It really pains me to understand that the way I feel about my mother and the way that I was brought up is still affecting me so strongly, and that it is influencing what is going on here at home. And I'm glad I've had this realization, because I think this might mean I can react in a way that is more related to what is actually going on here at home, rather than it be the bigger reaction, which is coming from a much smaller place, as in a much smaller part of me, that hurt child place. So yeah, I have some work to do here to help my family understand how I am feeling about the things that are going on in our family, in a way that is not informed by my past, which is what it has been over the last few days. So I have some work, I have some repair work to do there. I have some work to do for myself to acknowledge this way I'm feeling. And why am I telling you this? Well, I'm hoping that it might be useful for you to hear me talk about what I'm experiencing and how it's taken me a bit of time to work this out, and how in order to work it out, I needed to have a conversation with somebody who listened, who I knew had my best intentions at heart, and also heard what I was saying and managed to reflect it back to me in a way that was useful. But she was telling me what she heard, what she felt, what she, even though it wasn't necessarily the easy thing to say, she told me really useful things. What I'm hearing is this, or I wonder if this, she was talking to me like that, and it really helped me think and feel in my body what felt right. And it was only when I realized that I am probably taking out on my family now things that are from the past. That was a big realization for me. Yeah, not proud of it. But I've got to give myself some compassion about this. I really do. And I am giving myself some compassion because I'm not doing it on purpose. And what happened in the past really did happen, and it was tough. And if I beat myself up about it, it's certainly not going to make it any better. It's not going to be helpful for me to be telling myself that I should feel ashamed for the way I've been behaving, that I should feel bad about it. And in amongst all these feelings about what has been going on here at home, there is some real points that we do need to talk about and discuss. It's just what I've been bringing to it is a lot of emotion that comes from the past, and that's what I've realized this morning. And it could have probably been more constructive had I been able to just come from how I feel in the here and now. So that's why I wanted to talk to you about this today. It's also helping me talk it through, and you've perhaps noticed, if you've been listening or watching, that I've got a little bit upset as I've been talking about this, and then I've let that feeling pass and sort of have come back okay. Because I really am okay, and I'm doing okay, and I'm doing great. But also, I don't always have all the answers, and I sometimes need somebody to really talk to who can help me work it out for myself. And that's what my friend did. She did help me work it out for myself. I worked it out. She just pointed out a few things to me that I was saying, and I mean, she knows me, which helps. But yeah, and the last few episodes, episode 76 was about the layers of healing, and it feels very apt that I am going through another layer, and that's what keeps happening. it really does, and this feels like a a real growth edge for me to unpack this a little bit, because the way the arguments have been unfolding here at home are very much a pattern, and I can see the way I feel in those moments, the way I react in those moments, my expectations in those moments are a pattern, and that pattern comes very much from a lot of my feelings around my childhood and feeling safe and people being there for me, and my expectations, and me having to work really hard, do all the work, do all the things, because that's how I got validation at home, or tried to get validation at home when I was a child. And I am still doing that to a great extent here now in my now family. And I I could do with perhaps I could do with not bringing that past into the now, if I can work through it and work out how to not react like this. And my first step, which is really, I'm living what I talk about and how I work with my clients, in that the first thing is to notice what I'm doing. And that has very much been a day-to-day of noticing what is going on. Understanding that there's something there, and then noticing when I'm doing it. And that's what's been happening for me over the last week, that there's definitely something going on, and I have been noticing it. And talking it through with my friend today really made me understand the way that I am being more angry than the situation really than is appropriate, really. And I don't mean from like, oh, don't be so inappropriate, but really I'm reacting in a very big way. I'm definitely reacting from an emotional and traumatized small young place, and that is definitely something I wasn't able to do when I was that small young person. Having teenagers as well is hard, and also seeing the way they think it's okay to, they think it's okay to say exactly how they feel. And what you ask me to do that for? Why do I need to do that now? And really, question it. And I have found that balance between, okay, how much do I explain? How much do I just expect it to happen? How much do I let it go? So navigating this teenager space with them, as well as being triggered by other things, and those things that are going on and other things, is quite a melting pot of emotion. It really is. And yeah, I have been struggling, because on top of that, I've also got this added work. So it's been quite a lot. But in a way, I think it probably needed to happen like this to help me see things within my relationship, especially with my husband, that I hadn't really had the space to work through before. I'm not taking all the responsibility for what has happened, because it's not all mine, but some of it is, and that is what I have been giving some real consideration to today, and it has helped me. Yeah, it's helped. I'm not saying it's solved everything, I'm not saying it's all done, but it has really helped. And recording this episode has helped me vocalize it and put it into some sort of context. And I'm hoping, by explaining this, and to whoever is listening, I hope it's useful for you to hear that, self-compassion in these moments when we are triggered, when we are bringing stuff from the past into our now, self-compassion is really important, because we're not doing it on purpose. We're doing it subconsciously a lot of the time, and it's only when we can understand that maybe there's something else going on and be able to have a look at that, be able to have someone to talk to maybe who can help us work our way through that, because I can't do that with my husband, because he's very much a part of what is going on, and also he's not the sort of person I can have that conversation with, and that is okay. I would love to be able to have that conversation with him, but I just can't for lots of reasons. But what I have done is find people that I can have those sort of conversations with, which is really marvelous, lovely. I wouldn't be without the friends that I can have those conversations with now. It's sort of been a life changer for me. So that's kind of what I wanted to come and say today, and I hope, like I say, I hope it's been useful, and also it's me turning up when I wasn't really feeling it, but as I've got through this talking, and I can see now I've been talking for 26 minutes, I'm feeling a lot better now. And I hope it might find you in a place where you are more able to understand what's going on, and things might get easier for you too. Okay, so that's it for today's episode. Take great care of yourselves. Be compassionate to yourselves, because I mean by selves, I mean all those different parts of you, because you're doing great, and self-compassion is really what you need in moments when perhaps things aren't going so great. Okay, so take care, and I'll be back soon with another episode. Okay, bye.
Thank you for listening to the Meeting of Minds podcast. You can find this podcast in all the usual places. Please tell your friends, please subscribe, and if you have a moment, I'd be really grateful if you could rate and review, as it helps other people find us and helps me spread the messages of empowerment and positivity that I'm really passionate about. If you want to find out more about me, you can visit my website www.safeandsupported.co.uk. Until next time, bye.